Hey guys, NaturallyNellzy here today, and I know we're in a different location. Today is going to be a video that you guys requested. I think it's actually something that's been like highly requested, and this is going to be like my makeup 101, makeup tips, tricks, so on. I'm not actually going to be doing makeup per se, but I will be showing you guys some of the different things that I use and how they help my makeup and so on. I am not a makeup professional. I'm not a makeup artist. I would say I'm a makeup enthusiast. I love makeup, and I feel like, sorry, there's something on my camera. I feel like it's something that I like to play in and see the different type of looks that I can come up with in creation. So I look at it as a form of art. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is the face. I'm just going to go through the basic process of exactly what I did, some of the bad things that I did with makeup, not knowing, and so on. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this right here, and this area is where I do my makeup. This is where my vanity table is. Of course, we would see every natural has olive oil gel. This is not a part of my makeup, so I'll move that. As you guys can see, this whole area, you guys see that a little bit. This is all the area where I keep my makeup. There's a basket here where I have like my foundations and everything of that nature. And of course, I have my palettes back here. And then I also have my brushes, which my brush kit is over here. So I'll show you guys exactly what I use for everything and so on. So the first thing I'm actually going to start off with is primers. And if you guys are wondering where you could get this particular like makeup, it's like a transparent kind of, I guess, acrylic makeup setup. And I got this because one, it's very easy. Like if you guys saw my standard setup before, not the best. So you can get this on Amazon. I'll leave the link. Primers are a very good portion of your makeup because it's going to be the barrier that protects your face from all the, you know, things in the makeup, especially if your skin is oily, if your skin is dry, if you have sensitive skin. So I would say primer is a big thing. Of course, I like to opt to use a moisturizer with my primer. I use the St. Ives Timeless Skin Collagen Elastin Moisturizers. I like it because my skin can be dry, but I notice in certain areas, especially like my T-zone, it can get pretty oily. So I like to make sure I have a moisturizer. When I'm not using that, I like to use the Semantique moisturizers. I use this sometimes too when I really want my makeup to look really good. And then when it's times where I'm just doing like my normal makeup routine, I'll actually use my product from my line, which is Serene Body Sense. I do use this product on my face, mainly because it has all natural products. I know exactly the ingredients in here. Of course, if you guys are interested in getting this product, I will have it down below. Oh god, I'm dropping everything. I'll have that down below in the description bar for you. So after you moisturize your face, you want to make sure you put on a primer. I have a lot of different primers here. It does range from expensive primers to cheap primers. I believe a cheap primer will do basically the same thing. It's like a face primer. So this is the one that I tend to grab the most, and this is the City Color Primer. It's paraben free and it's good. And basically, like the primer I said it does, it's like a barrier from the makeup on your skin, and then it also gives you like a nice matte kind of finish. And it helps your makeup to go on flawlessly, where you're not going to see any creases, any pores, and things like that, imperfections. So that's why primer is pretty good. Now I'm just going to pop that jar back in there, and we're going to move on to the next step, which would be foundations. So this is like my box of foundations, my little basket. I have a lot of different foundations and my powders and stuff like that. So I'll just show you guys a lot of different things in here. And in my first beginning stages of makeup, I was just doing it all wrong. I had a lot of foundations that were not my skin tone, they were not my complexion color, and it just was not a good look. So one thing I have to say, when you're really starting out in makeup, it's a trial and error. You have to go and you have to test. The main thing I think works for me is to look at someone on YouTube and see if their skin complexion is relatively close to yours. Especially look at them in regular, like natural light, without like the lighting. Like right now I have lighting, so I might look a little brighter than usual because of my light. But if we were to like, well, I can't turn them off, but you guys get where I'm going. If I were to turn them off, it would be a little different. So lighting is a big factor. Look at somebody in natural light, and then, you know, you can kind of understand exactly what it's like. The main thing for me, they say you're not supposed to test it on your hand because it's a little darker, it might be a little different than your normal complexion. But the main way that I test it out is I like to look at somebody else, see if the product oxidizes and so on, And if you could, see if you could go to like maybe a department store, see if you could swatch it, especially hit up the drugstore makeup aisle. That's like a really big part that is pretty good for, you know, beginners, because if you don't like the makeup, you can return it back, or if maybe you swatch the wrong color, you return it back and get your full refund. So that's why I like drugstore makeup. The main pharmacy that I like to hit up is Rite Aid, mainly because of their return policy. If the makeup does not, you know, meet your standards, you can return it for a full refund. So that's why I like Rite Aid. I know Walmart is also pretty good. I just went to a haul. I put that video up showing you guys different things that I got from there. But yes, I think that's the best place to start, rather than going somewhere where it's like really expensive, where you're getting like maybe a high-end kind of foundation, because you don't want to be stuck with it and it doesn't match. So as you guys can see, this is mistake with number one. I ordered this from Walmart the other day. It shows you I'm still making mistakes. And as you guys can see, this foundation, the lighting is, like I said, the lighting always makes things look different. But as you guys can see, this is way too dark for me. And you guys know about me, I'm absolutely cheap and I do not waste anything. So sometimes I remember I had got this, which is a Stay Matte foundation from Rimmel London. And I got this from an influencer box where it was basically too light. This is the color saying, you guys can see that's too light. So being that I got this too dark, I would basically put it here, and then I'll mix the two together, and then I'll swatch it so that I have a complexion that's closer to mine. And there you go. Now you have some foundation that actually works and you're not wasting anything. If you're not into heavy full coverage foundation, I would say opt for a BB cream. BB cream is absolutely awesome. This is my go-to when I, you know, want to go into the summer and I don't want to have all of that makeup on my face where I feel like it's going to melt and all of that. So BB cream is pretty good. So after we actually apply our foundation, I like to tend to do my eyebrows. I personally do my eyebrows first. The main thing that you will need for your eyebrows is a pencil color. I'm just going in my drawer. This is like my absolute favorite. This is the NYC eyeliner pencil. I actually use this for my eyebrows, and the color on this is dark brown. So I really love this one. It's cheap. It's $1. I got this one from Target, and I always have a backup just in case, you know, I run out. So that's the one that I tend to use. When it comes to your eyebrows, you want to make sure that it's not going to be too dark. I like to go for like a dark brown, especially depending on my hair. Have your eyebrows match with like your hair color. So that's what I tend to use. After I shade them in, I use a mix of between a pencil and also a eyeshadow. So I make sure I have a waxy pencil, and then I'll go over with an eyeshadow so that I can get through that. What I use is the Maybelline, I think this is Made from Mocha. This is an eyeshadow, but I actually use this for my brows. And then I also use this as well, and this is the NYX Love in Rio. So I'll use this darker color right here if I'm going for a darker eyebrow color. On top of that, I will conceal. The main concealer of choice I like is this one right here. This is the LA Pro Girl Concealer, High Definition Concealer. You can also get a concealer which doubles as a highlight. This is the Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer from NYX. And this one is a little closer to mine. This is Nutmeg, so this is what I use for the top of my eyebrows, and then under I'll just use this to give it a nice little highlight. So that's basically my eyebrow process. It's really not too crazy. It's actually pretty simple, and that's what I tend to use. When it comes to eyeliner, you do have a lot of different options. Of course, if you're old school, which is like me, I don't mind. I like to use the regular pencil. This one is from Starlux, and this color is in Obsidian, and this is just a regular black eyeliner pencil. I like the pencil because I can sharpen it. I know exactly how the point can get. It's better with the precision and so on. If you want to get a retractable one, which saves you time, you can get the retractable one as well. This one is from Cativa, and this is in the color black. So yeah, simple one. And if you guys are a little bit more advanced, you can opt for a gel liner, which would actually have to use a brush. It's like a slanted eyeliner brush. So here's my gel eyeliner. This is by BH Cosmetics, and it is in the color Onyx. So this one just gives you more precision if you know exactly, if you have mastered the technique of actually holding your brush and being able to sculpt a cat eye. I would say this is a bit better because I'm able to be more creative in the type of under eye liner I want, the type of design of my top liner, wing liner, and so on. So that's why I really like the gel. Like I said, if you guys are more artistic or you're more mastered at your cat line eyewear, you can use the brushes right here. This is my absolute favorite. It's only $1 from e.l.f. This is their liquid eyeliner, and it has more of a brush, so hopefully you guys can see it's like a regular brush, like if you were painting. It's a brush like that. And I do have a felt tip. I don't really like the felt tips too much because I feel like it's too stiff for me. But this is a felt tip by MAC. I guess I had it too long. The actual writing has the writing on it has came up, but this is by MAC and I don't really use it as a felt tip. I'm not a fan of it mainly because I feel like it's stiff and I can't really get exactly what I want, and it tends to dry out quicker than the rest. So yes, those are the different ones that I tend to use. Now the next thing would be blushes and things of that nature. I tend to like the Quad. This is the blush pod from City Cosmetics, mainly because it has a lot of different, you know, colors that I can opt to choose from. I would say more so if you are, you know, a woman of color and so on. Of course you can rock any blush you want, but me personally, I like to use colors that aren't going to stand out too much in my face, but just give me a little, you know, flush of color. I got this one from Cargo Cosmetics. This is a pretty nice one as well. This one is called Laguna, so I like this one. And I had a lot of other ones from e.l.f. too. I know e.l.f. Cosmetics has a lot of nice blushes that aren't too expensive, and they're just really nice. They have like a sheer color, so it's something for you to experiment. So if you're gonna get a blush, make sure that it's not going to be like, you know like those little dolls that the little, what do they call, like the Raggedy Ann dolls that have those big round circles on their cheeks. You don't want your blush to look like that, especially if, you know, your skin is a bit darker. So that's what I like to do. Now when it comes to mascara, I actually like to use stuff that I'm more used to. I'm not really a big mascara girl. It's only when I want to go for a look that's gonna give me a little, you know, attention to the eye, because that's the main point of wearing mascara, is because you want your eyes to pop. So one that I found to be very, very helpful is this right here. M Cosmetics is actually a really good brand. This is Michelle Phan's brand, and her mascara has, I feel like this is the only mascara that's got my eyelashes to really stand out without wearing falsies. I got this one from Influencer. This is by Rimmel London Lash Accelerator Endless. The brushes and things are different. I have some that are still in the package, haven't even opened. So mascara, you know, it's good if you want your eyelashes to pop, but for me it's not really a big necessity in my routine. But yeah, there's a lot of cool mascaras. I know e.l.f. also has a lot of nice mascaras on the actual website, so you can totally check out e.l.f. and you could see if you get a mascara from them. Now I guess we can start to bring in pressed powder and bronzer. Powders basically go in with your foundation. It's going to set the foundation and make it look flawless. It's also going to help it last a bit longer as well. The main reason why I like to get transparent pressed powder is because I have had my fair shares of bad experiences with pressed powders. For instance, I do have this one. This is by Your Minerals, and this is supposed to be a foundation slash pressed powder. I don't like pressed powders that have pigmentation to them, mainly because when I apply them on top of my foundation, it looks very cakey, and I don't like, you know, that cake face look where it looks like you have a ton of powder. It just goes on top of your foundation that's already, you know, pigmented, and it doesn't leave any type of residue, cake face. It doesn't like you're wearing a ton of powder, and it doesn't show up in flash photography. So that's why I like sheer or transparent pressed powder. Now I guess we can move on to like bronzers and things like that, and highlights. This is more for those who maybe might be a little bit more advanced, but this is basically what you use to get like the contour. As you guys, when it comes to highlight, you do have some palettes that do specifies exactly what you need to use. For instance, this one, you can't say anymore, but it used to say bronzer. Then this one says blush. Hopefully you guys can see the words. And this one will be light. So this is the side I would use to highlight for. e.l.f. Golden Bronzer. And I tend to really massively use this side right here. I absolutely love this side. Sometimes I use this one a little bit if I want more of a highlight, but this tends to be like the one that's closest to my skin tone, that's going to give me a nice little shine. I used it today, and as you guys can see, the points where I want the light to hit is exactly where it's doing it justice. So that's why I absolutely love this side right here. And this is a pretty good highlight for, you know, when you want to highlight certain areas. So of course, if you do want to set your foundation and pressed powder isn't enough, you can opt to use setting sprays. I personally don't like the setting sprays because I feel like it makes my face more dewy, which leads to more oil, which makes me feel more comfortable. But I do have this setting spray by e.l.f. Cosmetics. So this can actually be used to set your foundation or, you know, your whole look entirely, and you just put it on like so. Now we're finally hitting eyeshadows, and this is where things tend to get a little bit more tricky. If I'm doing a basic look where you're like something for work where I just want a little bit of eye color, I don't want anything that's gonna be too bright or too not to my liking for work, just something quick, I will grab this right here. And this is my City Color Cosmetics Eye Mode collection. It actually has that cute little reflective picture thing. I think that's pretty cute. This is basically what I'll use right here. As you guys can see, there's like a ton of different colors here that go from light to dark and so on. Coastal Scents is definitely somewhere you want to hit up. I have at least 3 different Coastal Scents palettes. The first one that I actually experimented with is this one right here, and this is their 88 original palette with 88 different eyeshadows. If I can open this up for you guys, as you can see, it has all of the colors under the sun, and this is really good for a beginner because, you know, you're not really sure what to use, you're not really sure what's going to be for your skin tone, you don't want it to be too harsh or anything. So this is good for experimenting. If you're more into the neutral kind of colors, I would say the warm palette is something that you want to use. It also comes with 88 shades of colors, and mines are popping out. I've had this thing for like years, y'all. Some of them are missing, so don't make fun of me. But yeah, this is basically the warm palette right here. As you guys see, it's a lot of neutral colors, so if you're more into neutral, this is pretty good for you. I also have another palette that's just like the same one that I showed you with all of the regular colors into it, but this one has shimmer, so those times where I want more of a sparkly kind of eye look, I'll use this one right here. And as you guys can see, it looks, they're falling out. Like, this is not okay. All of my pigments are just falling out. But yeah, this is the times when I'll use this one right here. It has more shimmer to it and so on. The times when I actually do want my eyeshadows to stand out and I do want them to be like really pigmented, I'll offer this palette right here. This is my Sedona Lace palette. This is a little bit more expensive, but the main factor is that look. You have 1 and then you have 2. So you have a lot of different colors to play with, as you guys can see here. And these colors, just the first time that I had used them, they were very pigmented. There's a lot of different ones to play with. You have some that are matte and you have some that are more so on the shimmer side. So I really love this palette. Now, a quick tip for you guys. Of course, if you're a woman of color or your skin tends to be a little bit darker, we sometimes have an issue with not having our eyeshadow stand out. But I have a tip for that. The first thing that you want to get is a primer. I'm missing a drawer here. Let me put this drawer back. The first thing that you actually want to get is a primer, because the primer is going to be the thing that helps your eyeshadow to basically pop. It's also going to help with avoiding, you know, like your eyeshadow creasing, because you'll have that line where you can obviously see you've been blinking and you don't want that because that looks weird. So this is why primers are pretty good. I told you guys I have certain ones that are for my eyes, and I also have certain ones that are mainly for my face. A really good one that I like is the Sedona Lace Stick It To 'Em Eyeshadow Primer. This one's pretty good, mainly because it has a base that is matte and it's a bit more of a white base. I also like this one as well. This is the Shadow Primer by City Color Cosmetics. And this one, as you guys can see, already has that nice, rich, creamy kind of color to it. On top of that, I'll opt to use some of my pencils. The NYX Jumbo pencils are very popular on YouTube, mainly because they are so pigmented. So these can act as a base, mainly for your eyeshadow colors to have them pop out, stand out, and so on. And they also, I would say the most popular one, I have a lot here, thanks to my mother because she gave them all to me. But the main popular one is this right here, and I actually have to depot this so that I can get more. You guys can see you can't even get anything left out of this. I can't even use it other than with my finger. This is going to be your best friend if you're experimenting with eyeshadow that you really want to stand out, mainly because it has that really nice white creamy base under it. So what you'll do is you'll prime your eyes and then you'll go ahead and put this on top of it, and that's going to help your eyeshadow stand out. So that's why I love this. If you want to get a lot of different colors that you may find that you use in your tutorials, I have more here. I have one that's yellow. This one, this one is open. One that's yellow. So yeah, the eyeshadow jumbo pencils are going to be like your best friend. So definitely check out NYX. Of course, your brushes are going to be the biggest factor as far as what you're going to use to apply your makeup and how things are going to look. I will say that if you are beginning, you can opt to use cheaper brushes. I wouldn't really spend too much money on really high-end brushes. The first brush set that I got was from Coastal Scents. Again, if you're a beginner, this is where you really want to go because they have a lot of sales. This is a 22-piece brush set, and I believe a long time ago on Instagram I did show it to you guys. So of course all of my brushes are missing at this present time because I need to do some serious cleaning. And that's one of the things that you want to really make sure you pay attention to when you're doing your makeup. Make sure you do wash your brushes, ladies. I'm actually not too big on following that rule, which is why all of them are out here, because I was like, Chanel, no makeup unless you do your brushes. If you guys want to see that specific video, I'll leave that down below, because I already know this video is way too long. So yes, you can get a lot of different brushes for a cheap price. I'll show you guys exactly where the brushes are located. Right here in this jar, this is where I have all of my brushes, especially the ones that I mainly use on makeup. You guys can see some of them are kind of dirty. So to make sure that you can buy something that's not going to be too expensive, but just to a point where, you know, you can learn, you can figure out which one is for what it's used for, how to use it, and so on. And maybe even some ways that you can have an alternative use for it as well. So this is where I keep my brushes. This holder is by e.l.f. Cosmetics. Again, I had this forever. The words kind of faded off. This is by e.l.f. Cosmetics. I believe it was in your studio brand. It was like $3, $4, $5. So this is going to be helpful somewhere to store your brushes. So the 22 brush set is what I mainly use to do my makeup. Now, when I know that I'm a little bit more advanced to do my everyday makeup, I actually have this, and this is by Sedona Lace. Now this brush set is a little more expensive, though I was able to pretty much craft out the brushes that I want to use for everyday basis. And then it also has a like, if you are a makeup artist, it has a patch that you can, well, not a patch, but you know, it has a string that you can actually attach it and wear it like a kind of like, you know, a fanny pack or an apron, if you will, and you can just grab your brushes. So this is what I use for my everyday face routine. It has all the different brushes in here. If you guys want to see that video, I'll leave it down below, because again, this is going to be too long. If you are into eyelashes, I do have some eyelashes here from China. A lot of different Chinese vendors will have these eyelashes that are like $1, and you could get like a bunch of them. So this tends to be the more, y'all hear me dropping all this stuff? This tends to be the more dramatic ones. Of course, they're $1, so you are going to have to do some alterations and make sure you cut them to fit your eye, but those are what they look like. So those are the more dramatic kind of eyelashes. And then we also have these right here, which I do not use because I didn't like them, but these are the more less dramatic looks. You guys are more so into the individual lashes. Like, I do have some here, which I haven't gotten to use it because the other ones I got to show you are dirty, like they're disgusting. But this is by JCast, and this is the eyelashes, and it also has glue. I didn't use this one yet, so these are brand new. And you can buy these individual lashes. Some come with the glue, and then they come with the eyelashes, and they also tell you how to apply them on the back. So you can definitely do that too. The individual lashes, I have some. Everything is falling everywhere. I have some from Adele. The main ones that I like to use is by Cherry Blossom. I'm trying to grab them. I'm telling you guys, I'm so unorganized. It's by Cherry Blossom. You guys have seen me use these a lot in my tutorials. Here is my little container of dirty eyelashes. Very nasty. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure you clean your eyelashes. So if you're going to invest in them, you know, get stuff that's a little cheaper, so you can just, you know, you're going to be experimenting, so of course there's going to be a lot of mishaps. You don't want to waste your money experimenting with really, you know, expensive eyelashes and so on. So I would say opt for the cheaper ones. A lot of good sites to get cheap makeup is ikatehouse. That's amazing. There's another one, I believe is Shop Miss A. I've done reviews for all these companies where you could get like loads of stuff for cheap. Especially e.l.f. Cosmetics. That's a really good one. I'll leave a list down below of all the different links that have really good makeup. BH Cosmetics is also good. If you guys are interested in having me do more so an in-depth look on makeup 101 basics, where you can actually see me apply the makeup rather than just talk, definitely let me know if you guys want to do that, because we can totally do that, and I can get more into my beauty videos by doing so. But guys, I think that's it. I think that's everything that I had to show you. Of course, lipsticks, you know, they don't get any more general than that. I have this little acrylic lipstick holder. These are, I have more lipsticks, of course. I'll show you guys. My lipsticks are more so over here. I have like all of my different, you know, like lip glosses, lipsticks, and so on. But those are the more funky kind of colors back there. And these are the ones that I use on an everyday basis. With lipsticks, I can't really say much other than to experiment and see what works for you. These are the ones that I use more so on an everyday basis that are not too crazy or loud for work. So yeah, that's pretty much it that I have to say with that, guys. If you guys have any questions that I have not yet addressed, or any other concerns that weren't gone over in this video, please let me know down below. If you guys would like to see me do specific, like how to apply your foundation, how to apply your eyeshadow, how to apply your eyeliner, definitely let me know below, because like I said guys, I need to get more into my makeup. I did record this look. I know this was like a highly requested look when you guys saw me do the curl kit unboxing. I did record this look, so I will have that up. If it's not up already, I'll leave it down below. But yes, it's basically it. I've been talking too much. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Leave your requests down below. Let me know if this video was helpful and you know what to use and so on. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.